Mamdani moves to restart homeless encampment sweeps after early opposition. Mayor Zoran Mamdani confirmed reports Wednesday that he intends to restart homeless encampment sweeps after historic cold snaps resulted in the deaths of 20 New Yorkers, reversing his own stance on the policy. Unlike the city's previous policy under former Mayor Eric Adams, which charged the NYPD with sweeping homeless encampments, Mamdani will put the Departments of Homeless Services in charge, a move in line with his efforts to shift responsibilities such as mental health response and homeless outreach away from the NYPD towards other agencies. Mamdani has previously ended the practice of homeless encampment sweeps, a practice of which he has long been critical. A March 2025 Optimist report on the practice revealed that of the 3,500 people moved out of homeless encampments between January and September 2024, only 114 were moved into shelters. But at an unrelated news conference Wednesday, Mamdani announced that his administration would be continuing encampment sweeps after pausing the Adams administration's policy, which he called a failure on January 5th. I made a decision with my team to put a pause on that prior administration's policy as we started to develop our own policy that would deliver far better outcomes for the city, Mamdani said. The mayor has faced scrutiny from other city elected officials over City Hall's response to the prolonged cold snap, which was one of the longest spells of freezing temperatures in the city in recent memory. The administration declared a code blue that lasted several weeks, requiring city shelters to accept all people seeking refuge from the cold and triggering additional homeless outreach. We know that is a policy that we would only deliver once the prolonged code blue came to an end, because as we know, in a code blue, the focus should be on getting homeless New Yorkers inside, not on the question of how we respond to structures, the mayor said. City Council Speaker Julie Menin criticized the city's response to the code at a hearing on the matter last week. When reached for comment, spokesperson for Menin referred to AM New York to her previous comments on homeless outreach. These deaths are not inevitable, Menin said at the hearing. They are the result of gaps in outreach, shelter capacity, mental health services, and follow-up. City officials testified at the February 10 hearing that about 22% of code blue calls to emergency responders, primarily through 311, were closed without assistance between January 19 and February 10. Responders sometimes could not find the individual reported by a caller. In other cases, individuals in the code declined help or were deemed not to need it. After the New York Post first reported that the policy changed on Tuesday evening, the Legal Aid Society and the Coalition for the Homeless condemned the shift in a Wednesday morning statement. If the mayor wants to see fewer encampments, the city should expand on the efforts of the last few weeks by increasing the number of outreach workers and offering unsheltered individuals low barrier shelter beds, such as safe havens and stabilization beds, and immediately access to supporting housing the organizations wrote. Mamdani said at his February 18 news conference that moving the responsibility to the Department of Homeless Services would fundamentally change the practice, which he said will be characterized by outreach going forward. Outreach team, after providing initial notice on day one, Mamdani said will repeatedly continue outreach to individuals in homeless encampments for 7 days before initiating the sweep. That's all I have to say for this video.